It's me, Pup. How are you doing? I, for one, am disappointed. See, recently, Sega have been making a push to restore some of their old IPs. Starting with Crazy Taxi with a new reboot/sequel, Crazy Taxi World Tour. And naturally, fans of the original Crazy Taxi were incredibly excited by this. But it wasn't just fans of Crazy Taxi looking forward to the Crazy Taxi reboot. Sega fans were also looking forward to the Crazy Taxi reboot. A lot of Sega fans are also Sonic fans. I'm a Sonic fan, and when I first heard all about this, I thought this would be a really cool way to get into Crazy Taxi. The game even includes the previous Crazy Taxi game on there. The trailer looks like proper classic Sega. Unapologetic kind of punk rock urban edge, kinetic high-speed movement-based gameplay, and very arcadey, and it's been feeling like, since around like Sonic Racing Crossworlds as well, like Sega have kind of been getting that Sega identity and confidence back. But a big part of that identity was the authenticity of the products. And oopsie-daisy, fans were quick to see the AI disclaimer on the Steam page. A vague little disclosure that reads as follows. The developers describe how their game uses AI-generated content like this. At Sega Corporation, we utilize generative AI as a support tool for developers, aiming to provide better content to our users and enable developers to focus more on creative tasks. We have used such generative AI support tools during the development of Crazy Taxi World Tour. No AI was used in reference to the performers in the game. So what they're basically getting at here is AI was used in the development of the game's production, but there's no like AI voice actors or AI generated faces in there. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different ways that Gen AI can be used. It can be used to generate code or correct code. I'm only really versed at all with how AI impacts the artist economy. I don't really know what coders think of AI, whether they view it as more of a helpful tool, or if they too have employment concerns. There has since been some clarification as to how the AI has been utilized in the game. And I do want to stress generative AI, like just regular artificial intelligence, has been used in game design for decades now. Initially, a statement was put out saying it was for background assets, but that anything AI generated was used at the discretion of the development team. This is something that Sega said to Game Informer. This is still kind of vague because when they say background elements, we assume like backgrounds like visually, but it could be referring to back-end coding. But if it was referring to backgrounds, this would still be really bad. Background assets provide a lot of like lower level work. These are very important jobs. And the thing is, when the conversation about important jobs comes up, it's usually had from the perspective of the corporation. No, for the economy's sake, jobs are important. However, Crazy Taxi series creator Kenji Kano elaborated a little further. We've got this quote from Kotaku here. We used it as a reference, so our artists would pull up and generate some of their ideas, and then they would look at that, generated image, and then they would draw the actual thing. So actual creators, everything from programming to assets, everything is made by an actual human. It is only used as a reference for them to look at, and then they would actually create the real thing that would go into the game. For us, the extent of how we use generative AI is only what I mentioned earlier. It's just for ideas and just as a reference. Moving forward in the future, generative AI is probably going to be more of a hot topic, but I think that's all I can say right now on how we use generative AI for this game. Now, one of my biggest concerns when it comes to generative AI is the employment aspect, and from the looks of things, this has no bearing on that. Nobody that would have otherwise gotten a job here lost one. And Sega as a company's own stance on generative AI is that they're aware that there is a lot of pushback, but that they keep AI options available as tools for their creatives, usually for more administrative tasks. In this instance, though, I wouldn't call that an administrative task. I would say that creating placeholder assets and brainstorming is a creative one. But this also isn't just a blame the developers thing either. Sega Sammy have stated at an investor Q&A that they're looking to leverage AI for efficiency improvements. But typically, we're using AI for efficiency means we're tightening deadlines, but here's AI to help. When the actual answer is invest in human beings, employ more people, and stuff will get done faster. As a multi-billion-dollar corporation, Sega does have an obligation to invest in people. Because if there's no jobs and we just let the economy fail, no one will be able to afford Sega video games. And it gets worse. this. In Sega using generative AI, they are supporting that industry, and that industry has caused computer prices to absolutely skyrocket across the globe. This supply chain crisis is often referred to as the AI memory crunch. Computers, RAM, computer chips cost more. Isn't it absolutely fucking insane that today, as consoles get closer to their obsolescence, they go up in price? Then we've been awoken to the real environmental damage of the data centers as they've been building them in the USA lately, meaning that the media gets to see firsthand just how much damage this is doing to even just small parts of the environment. God forbid what it's doing on a broader scale. The fact is, the world is at a moral crossroads, and you shouldn't expect morality from any mega corporation. Are we willing to undo the progress that we've made with recycling? Are we willing to have our grandchildren navigate a hollowed out planet with a hollowed out economy that they can get absolutely fuck all out of because we just got a little too excited about AI? And a lot of companies just said, fuck yeah. Sega, on the other hand, have been tiptoeing. This is kind of a half measure as far as video game development with generative AI goes. So, this actually presents us a little opportunity here. And Sonic fans, you especially, gather around, take a seat. I want us to huddle for a second here, okay? Sega is a very reactive studio. The fact that they've acknowledged the backlash to the generative AI usage, the fact that there have been statements from the developers regarding the generative AI usage, means that Sega are genuinely aware of the heat that they're feeling. The fact that they're treading with caution, and the fact that they listen to us, doesn't mean that we let them off the hook. It doesn't mean that we give them the benefit of the doubt with this. Oh, no one lost a job? Okay, but there's still people who need jobs, and this is an opportunity to expand a workforce rather than feeding an AI that's destroying the planet. I know Sonic fans, and I know there's a lot of Sonic fans right now who can't bear the idea of not buying the next Sonic game. And I'm actually not even saying that to take the piss. With all the fucking horrible shit I've been talking about today, it's no wonder people are seeking refuge in a little video game about a blue hedgehog or whatever. But this right here is not the time for acceptance. This is not the time for us to all publicly shrug our shoulders and go, I guess it's inevitable, Sonic and AI, we're good. I'm not saying you have to boycott it. I'm not saying you have to do anything, because what you do with your money is not my business. But what I will say is this. Make a stink. Let this be a big thing. I usually make videos about discourses in a bid to kind of die them down a little bit, but in this case, obviously there are limits. If you're harassing individual people or devs or whatever, that's not okay. It always becomes a different matter when it comes to harassment. But if you don't want AI in the next Sonic game, if you don't want buying the next Sonic game or the hype cycle of the next Sonic game to be this annoying, insufferable moral minefield, make a noise now. Let it be known that Sega fans don't want generative AI. We want that Sega authenticity. We don't want game studios cutting corners on our products. I would like the deadlines for the developers to be reasonable without AI. Or better yet, if the deadlines are too much, hire some more fucking people. We need jobs. It's just a really big shame because I know there's people that were really looking forward to this game. I was kind of excited about it myself, but through a generative AI disclaimer and just Sega kind of testing the waters here, they've pissed away a lot of very valuable goodwill in a very short space of time. It's up to us as fans to tell Sega, the water's no good. Don't you fucking go in that water. Do not do it. You will look really fucking stupid and ruin pool day for all of us. Well, that's that. Leave your disgust in the comments below. If you liked my video, leave a like. If you disliked it, leave a dislike. Subscribe if you enjoy Sega games. Hype the video to help the videos reach, or do none of that. You don't have to. And now, a special thank you to the patrons in the $5 and above tier. We have Manalza, KB, Twilord, Biotin, Serious the Skeptic, and Mr. SP. Kale Bennett, Xbox finally has games. Dare, Denny, Sad, Goku, Ghostly Phantom, Xander, Wolf, Channel Pup, Lifeform Data successfully copied, Council of Geeks, SSS06, Carlex, RT0, Marvin Animation, Grant Allen, Josh Strider, Silver, Ben Raven, Basic Content, Gideon Wells, Press Player Jason, Joseph Triple, and Cho Henshin. Thank you folks so much for your generosity, and everyone else, you gotta go to get another bite at the buffet, get yourself another plate, go see the buffet, go see what food we got, okay? Okay, goodbye.